and I want to make it clear before I ask this question that none of us are doctors, and none of us pretend to be doctors and have any sort of medical training or background at all. But I want to ask about, now the vaccine is starting to be rolled out a little bit more, the COVID-19 vaccine. Does that factor into, I don't know, any level of optimism, or maybe, what could happen in the marketplace in terms of some of these numbers? Is that something you guys even pay any attention to?
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we've just been sitting down with our forecasters for the 2021 IOTA, and that's the first thing we touch on is state of pandemic, since, as we noted, that's the key factor in this. Is why are we where we are? Well, because we have a pandemic on the loose. So efforts to mitigate that then allow us to return to meaningful economic activity. And we've said, I think experts have said through that the path out is vaccine, and then of course leading to herd immunity and all the other kind of technical terms that they use. So the more we see people vaccinated, while everyone's hearing right now, that's great, but let's stay cautious. Let's stay, protected and guarded about our return to mobility, which is the key to economic activity too, is becoming mobile again, doing the things that we did. I think, the more those numbers go up, the more people will test the boundaries and get out and do stuff. Go back to restaurants, go back to retail, go back to travel, those kinds of things. So yes, there's a clear link between that and our industry's ability to get clients and return to business.
Yeah. To cite one of our previous studies, last year's Q2 meta report was the first report that we produced after the pandemic had hit. We looked at what happens to society after these big kinds of changes happen. We looked at research from the Spanish flu, also as well as like the Great Recession, the Great Depression, to kind of think about how does society bounce back? What does society carry over? And the answer is that people are pretty consistent. They might be doing different things during these pandemic times, but that's not a reflection of like a fundamental change in who people are. That's a reflection of them responding to different circumstances, right? So, to the extent that vaccines promise a return to the pre-pandemic circumstances, and it seems like that from what research suggests, then the proliferation of vaccines is almost everything, really, to especially sectors that have been so hard hit, like transportation, like of course live events, like hospitality. Really hard to overstate the impact that vaccines can have on especially those slices of the wider AV industry.